evening, everyone. I am ecstatic to be alive, and I pray to God that you are as well. We have a show tonight just for you. I will be presenting Empress Nikesha Gipson to the show tonight. And oh my gosh, we have a numerous amount of topics that we will be discussing. You better go and call your friend, your neighbor, your grandmother, and your grandfather for this show, honey, because if you don't, they're going to miss a treat. What will we be talking about? We will be informing you, empowering you about various topics. So go ahead, do me a favor, and share this live. Go ahead and subscribe to everyone who is on the YouTube channel. Go ahead and hit that bell and subscribe so you can get a reminder every Thursday at 7 o'clock that we go live. You will already have an awareness of that. Guess what, everybody? I am getting ready to introduce to you those that do not know her, and those that do know her. Her name is Empress Nikesha Gipson. Come on in, girl. Come on in here.
Well, greetings, Sandra. You know about the word girl. I'm Lady Empress
Oh
in
my
the house.
I started off saying something that you don't like. My goodness. Well, listen, this is Empress, Lady Empress Nikesha, is how she have informed me that that's her name. She is Lady Empress. She knows who she is. So that's how we're going to start it off, because that's how what you call divine source wanted it to be that way. All right. Because I made an intentional um, uh, I said intentionally, I am not going to do that on the show, right? And so let's go into that. Let's talk about that. Who is Empress?
Excellent. Well, I really appreciate you, Sandra, and everyone who is viewing this evening. It's an amazing opportunity to get to know who I am. And first of all, my affirmation, or I would like to sing you all a poetic song that would introduce me of who I am, because I can go for a long time, very long-winded, of discovering who I am. So I want you all to sit back and relax and just close your eyes as I begin to share some wisdom with you. I love myself so much that I can love you so much that you can love you so much that you can start loving me. See, history repeats itself, but let me take you back to the primordials. See, her story repeats itself. Her story teaches us lessons to be learned and be prepared for. If you did not have any form of communication to be documented for you and our survival to thrive, will you be here today? See, her story teaches us lessons to be prepared and be prepared for. If you take a small seed and plant it in rich soil, and you allow Mother Nature to nurture it and you cultivate it, now take that exact same seed and put it into dry soil and allow Mother Nature to nurture it and you cultivate it. The question is, where will it bear fruit? See, this is your idea and concept of wisdom of the spirituality that's deposited as the seed of your subconsciousness. It is us. It is the Mother Nature and all of us working together to cultivate so we can thrive and not just survive. See, if we're not for those gods and goddesses, but we are take the veil and pull it back, it's the scientists, those who understood the arts, the science, the astrology, everything in the science and the divine divinity that lives within. See, if it were not for our nomadic civilized civilization to walk across the worlds to build up civilizations, will you and I have this technology this career, this business, or anything that we have in existence today. See, let us get back to the heartbeat of the Savior called us, so we can divinely heal as a nation, as one. See, I'm born again in my thought process because I am Empress Nikesha Gipson, known as Ifa Bunlafayemi Amenikema Achibo, because I'm here to break generational curses, because I am that I am, because I love myself so much that I can love you so much that you can love you so much that you can start loving me.
Amen. Thank you so much for that. Um, that was a song and a poem written by Empress Nikesha. So if you don't know, you know right now that she loves herself and she believes in herself. And that is the first step to survival. You must know who you are and you must love yourself more than anybody on the face of the earth will ever love you. Right now, we're going to talk about your childhood, Nikesha. All right. I would like to know who raised you.
The world. Um, that's a great question, Sandra. Who raised me? Well, I was born and raised here in Dallas, Texas, by a single parent mother who is an amazing mom, as well as my sister and as well as my brother. However, after my grandmother had transitioned when I was between the age of 11 and 12, I had the opportunity at 15 to relocate to Sunnyside, California, and I was finished being raised by my brother and my sister-in-law Bernadita Gibson, as well as building my relationship with my niece and Michelle. And so when it comes to the cultivation of being raised, it was my mother. It was, of course, my aunts and uncles who, touched their lives, in my life, my brother and sister-in-law. And of course, it was society. And of course, me being in the church, ministers and pastors, just being gathered around a lot of people cultivating my experience. However, a lot of the things that I've done in my ministry, giving back to my community, also impressed upon me the meaning of community, of being cultivated. So when I hear the word being raised, I would say a lot of people who have joined in my sacred path that I'm grateful for. And most importantly, for me going within, it is my spirituality that continued the inner wisdom of raising me as a spiritual, mature, divine being. And so that's how I was raised. My school raised me, the government, I mean, everything you can think of, because in my book, Secret Love Child, that I wrote, I can talk about the hidden aspects of where areas of my life needed to be raised. And so that's where the development of the ebook of Life Designing Us was birthed from. However, I would say anybody, including yourself, speaking with you, is raising me in areas that I felt that needed to continue to cultivate.
Very good answer. Very good answer. And so we're going to go ahead and talk about this ebook that you mentioned because it correlates with every topic that we're going to discuss tonight. The title, The Life of Zionist Diasa, represents a little girl who desired to have a hands on father, a caring father, one who had daily interactions with her. Is that what you experienced when you were raised?
The answer is no, Sandra. And I would like to read an excerpt from my book, Secret Love Child, so everyone can really resonate on why I said no. So you may expect a story like when I was a little lady, or either it all started when I was the age of 7. Well, here's the best way I could express my beginning is when I was conceived by love and betrayal.
Mm,
As a fetus in my mother's womb, because my father was married to another woman, not my mother. Outside of his marriage, he taken interest of my mother because they both worked in similar professional industries and made lump sums of money together. Yet when they conceived me, he continued his nature to be with other women. Although my mother was carrying me in her womb and he had another full time commitment elsewhere, the value of time being present in my life upon birth was not consistent. It was like out of 365 calendar days, on an average of 4 times out of the year, I will feel his presence and either see him. Together, I am their secret love child.
wow. Let's touch on that. All right. There were many points that you said in there, right? They met at an employment place, right? And so they begin to, was it a one night stand? Was it an ongoing relationship? What was that?
That's a great question. You ain't want to buy a secret love child. Uh, well, to address the matter, my mom worked for a doctor's office, and my father worked for an attorney. So they commingled in regards to building a relationship, and of course, one thing led to another. I mean, people have choices at the end of the day, and I feel that my purpose here is divine. I
Exactly.
get to address things that are hidden,
Yeah.
um, versus what's been traditionally been programmed into society, when it comes to family structure.
Right.
So, in the light of day, I wouldn't, like you say, I wouldn't judge because I wasn't there.
Exactly.
Is just that
Touch
now
on
I
being
exist.
a love child.
Yeah.
And you told the definition what a love child is right in there. But what I would like for you to do is just elaborate on there because I'm
Yeah.
sure someone in the audience is in the same shoes you are. And I want to be aware that we have people out there listening and they want to resonate with your story, right?
Correct. Correct.
And so, um, being born in a union of two people being married, that's one story. But not all stories are like that. All right.
Correct.
And so we must face the fact that we live in a world, in a vast society with multiple situations, right? And all of us matter and all of us have worth. So, what I would like to know from you is how did it make you feel? Did you know when you were small that this was the scenario, or did you find out at a different age?
Yes, yes, yes. Growing up, my mama never addressed him as she's like she just say his name, you
Mm,
know, and so I just said his name, but not knowing that that was my biological father.
mm,
And so it was just a lot of occasions where um, I would be presented to him, and I just see the conversation.
mm,
Now, as I got older, I would say maybe late in my 20s, when I began to discover about relationships and discover like, oh, my father was married. Oh, okay, because I always wished that my mom and dad would always be together, not knowing the scenario, right?
every
Um,
child,
and
every child
so
have that same desire buried in the inside of them, no matter what situation they are born in, be it divorce, you know, the children want the parents to make it work. You were saying in the book, all right, that you only saw him, or how did you put that at the end of that? You said 4 times a year you smelled him and saw him, or how does that go? What does that mean when you say that?
that's a great question. There's something intuitive in all of us that rather we give a role to it. For example, when somebody says this is your mom, this is your dad, but there's something intuitively, like some kind of emotion or bond or connection that may not have a name to it. So it's like I can feel his presence.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I can feel something that is beyond the physical, right? And then it's like, or I can hear his voice, but it's not consistent.
Mm-hmm.
So when you get that impact of meeting that person, it's like boom, like everything's just like wonderful, and then it goes away.
And then it goes away. And so, Nikasha, when you were a little girl, say the age of 5 or 6, because that's when you can, you have accountability. You know what's going on. When you went to bed at night, like most dads will read a story to their child or tuck their child in, right? Did you have that experience?
Um, from my dad, like no, because my mom was a single parent, right? If I get any type of level of engagement, that would be from either my sister Kim or my mother, you know,
Mm-hmm.
um, doing those roles. So to address the question at the 5 or 7, being accountable for who's doing what at what time for me to be put to bed, that was me experienced that with my mother and my sister.
And we thank God for your mother. And I just want to tell you, I'm glad that they had you, number one. All right. I'm glad that she kept you, number two. Mhm. I'm so glad that God deemed it for you to be here, regardless of the scenario. Many
Correct.
people struggle with, I came here under such and such circumstance. And so in their life, they feel it um, less than,
That's true.
all right? They feel like their worth is not validated. But
True.
I want to bring you on here tonight to show them the face of somebody that went through um, strenuous situations, yet she did not look at it and view it in a negative way. Am I correct?
Yes and no. um, what's up, sis? It's my sister.
Yes, yes, yes. Take your time. I want you to feel every emotion because you're not alone. All right? I have a friend and she told me her story and it's similar to yours. And she felt like the black sheep of the family. And that emotion took her through test and trial, one after another. And it wasn't until she became a grown adult that she was able to work through the pain of what it meant to be born as a love child. Let me paint the picture. That means her father was married to somebody else. And he stepped out of the relationship and conceived a human being that is alive today to tell the story. I compliment you today for your bravery of showing up to this appointment and this assignment because when she conceived you, it is my belief this day, today, was purposeful for you to be on Sandra's Authors Forum. How about that?
Ding ding ding. So, what I can summarize is that my father would have appointments with my mom where my mom would go meet him, and sometimes he'll be there, sometimes he's not,
Mhm.
and I will feel her frustration, and she will, be frustrated. And I was always inside defending my father, like he's not a bad father. He's, in my head. So imagine taking that idea and concept of not, like you say, being negative in a thought process about your father, but then projecting into individuals of other men of seeing the light of day in them.
Mhm.
So basically, it's like, how can I say this? As I grew up and matured, it was my spirituality or my religion at the time to complement the inner areas of my life. Like you say with Christ, like, oh, when things didn't feel well or I didn't feel love, I would go to the word, So, and every day I would read a Proverbs every day, because I said, oh, you know what, I'm gonna be a woman of noble character, not knowing how I got here, but I wanted to be that woman of Proverbs 31, like every day, every day, every day, every day, every day. So I wired my brain to take on that character, not knowing that right now that's the same, but it's a higher ideal, where I'm outside of religion, I'm outside the effing box, and so when I share this is that when I came back to Texas 6 years ago to you know meet up with my father. And now when you're of age, now family members or your parents want to start telling you, like, this is what happened. And so I had the confidence and courage to listen to his side of the story.
Good.
And so it made sense from his side of the story, and it made sense from my mother's side of the story. But I wasn't going to allow myself to have the two war against their perception.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there was an instant where my dad, said something about, my mother and vice versa. So I said, I'm going to write Secret Love Child, because this is a message that can allow people to heal from their situation, you know? And so at the end of the day, as I share with you, Sandra, people are only going to love you based on the current condition that they have at that time. What I mean is that I have to respect my dad. I got to respect my mom. I got to respect my sister. I got to respect my brother. I got to respect people based on how they were nurtured or giving love. Because I can expect something higher that I need to be nurtured, that I feel like there's a lack. But I only can respect them because maybe their daddy or mama wasn't there, and then give them the loving and nurturing, vice versa. But I only can accept what they can give me right now. So I'm grateful for my dad and my mom still being alive for me to have conversations. But then again, I have to have compassion that they are who they are, you know. I wish my dad can, put money into my business. I wish my mom can, be at, certain places where it's very prominent, like these things. So I just have to capture those memories, but then go within and allow divine source and my ancestors to support me and allow people who come in my path to fill in those gaps. But all of it, at the essence, at the end of the day, is about loving myself.
It's
And I'm gonna
about
be real
loving
by
yourself.
loving myself, but I'm gonna say it, and loving my damn self. But I want to be real, because it's like you have to, and it's like, what is love? Because in the Bible it said love is patience, love is kind, it doesn't envy, and all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, what is it? It's just an energy force that it's a peace of mind.
It's a decision as well.
And
Love is
it's
a decision.
right, but it's a choice on how you demonstrate it.
Correct.
So it's based on how you been role model and demonstrate. Like, I could demonstrate love by doing A, B, and C, but then I may want to expect that A, B, C, and back, but that person may not know how to, or don't have the willpower to do it. But because I've been through so much, and the way that I'm very compassionate and giving, that's just who I am.
Mm-hmm.
So then I have to put a check mark on myself and say, that's just Empress.
Right.
Like my sister always say, that's you. That's not everybody else. That's just you.
Which leads me to the question about, um, do you think the way you were
Oh,
raised,
Kiki. Oh, that's my niece. Oh,
do you feel like that pushed you into your education? We're going to talk about your drive for learning right now. Do you
yes.
think any of that connected to why you're so passionate about making sure you're apt and knowledgeable about various topics?
Yes. 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 Knowledge is power. However, when you apply it,
Correct.
okay. So I was told growing up, go to school, get good grades, go to college, close your legs, graduate, get a good career, 9 to 5, and then start a family.
Mm.
So on the surface, I followed those achievements. But the reality is life ain't like that. You see? But it was the education. How did I get funded to go to college? Was it my mama? Was my dad that funded the school? No, it was student loans. It was my brother's VA. You
Mm.
see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so those things got it funded, but and because I wanted to make sure that I was intelligent, that I was prepared. I wasn't a statistic that society, talked about in the books, and racism and gender and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, no, I'm a get that buku money. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get that degree, not knowing that the world is evolving around me, not knowing when I got out of school that job ain't there.
Right. So they don't know your education. Can you go ahead and let them know the steps you took and what degrees you have accomplished?
Yeah. So in 2004, I graduated high school, and then in 2008, I got my BA in communication, mass media, because I said, oh, yeah, I'm the next Oprah Winfrey, yeah, radio, TV, broadcasting, what?
Come
Then,
on.
then I said, you know what? The world is changing, so I need to go global. So I went back into school and studied international business and education and got my MBA, where there was opportunity. I had an opportunity to go overseas, but I declined it at that time because I was so into my belief system and doing ministry work.
Mm-hmm.
So I got into the corporate world, and then Spirit said, you need to go overseas. So I went overseas, and then I came back from China, and then everything was just entrepreneur driven. And then coming out the pandemic in 2021, Spirit said, you need to thrive and not to be surviving right now.
Mm-hmm.
I need you to
Say
go
that
back to school.
again. Say it one more
Here's
time.
divine source, and my ancestors said, you need to be thriving and not surviving right now. You go with what you know, because everybody ain't gonna help you financially, but you already know how to get there. So because I've been entrepreneur, and then my been around business owners and investors, Spirit said you're going to go back with a business owner mentality and invest mentality, and challenge your professors and challenge your peers, and take your business that you got your LLC in 2018 and apply it to the theory. Because while you in school for 4 years, they're teaching you theory, but are you learning the actual experience to make it work? So when I went back, I said, look, I talked to my financial advisor. I said, look, I need money in my pocket to pay my rent, pay my bills, but I'm willing to take my knowledge and trade it for my student loans so we get the bills paid, but I make sure I can produce excellency out of my schoolwork. So I went back to school. I didn't tell nobody. I said I'm going back to school, but it's very mission driven, and it's all about technology, because this world is evolving in technology. So recently on May 10th, I got my degree, my second master. So now I say MBA to the second power
Come
in
on.
technology management. Tomorrow, I'm graduating in my virtual ceremony. So,
Keep talking. Keep.
and I encourage anybody, if you want to go back to school, go back to school. Get with Empress. I'll teach you how to leverage that student loan. I teach you how to, manage that debt. So when you get out of school, you got a business behind you. If that career ain't there for you, because when I graduated, it wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else, mama and daddy, had jobs waiting for them. Some people had sororities and fraternities. They got them in careers. I didn't have that.
Look at this. Look at this, Empress. Victoria, that's my daughter. She said, congrats.
Appreciate it.
Look at that. Amanda's saying, congratulations on your hard work. Look at that. We appreciate you for pushing. And
Right.
that's why I made this flyer for you. Say,
Thank you.
it says, congratulations on your achievements. You see the cap, and there's a gown down there,
I
and
see
there's
that.
an award certificate. And we want to celebrate you and your hard work, because you could have been statistic, uh, like anybody
Over here in
else.
this household, ain't no statistics.
That's
It's
what I'm
all
saying.
about
And
faith. It's
so
all about
something
vision.
down inside of you allowed you, and in this day and time, I heard my daughter, she's in high school, and she said one of her friends, since the pandemic, said she just can't get herself together to do her work. That could have been you. But what I'm saying to you is, I commend you. Look, so proud of you, little sister. This gotta mean something to you, Empress, because when those days when you were all alone by yourself, you didn't know how you were gonna make it. I know when I was going to college, baby, I'm gonna tell you today, I never told anybody before, but I ran out of gas. Because, see, I'm a single mother. All right. I had those hard days, but I also had a drive in the inside, and I saw my destiny. I saw my future. And I knew that if I stopped, I would never make it. So I know you had those thoughts.
And yeah, when I was getting my MBA, I ended up like I mean, my brother, like a lot of people didn't know, but I was homeless.
See?
I was living in my car. Nobody knew that
See?
until I called my brother, and he's like, "Hey, you need to go, to Kashan now." So I stayed with them because I was about to end my MBA. I was like, "I'm done. I don't need this." But I kept going, and then I found purpose by helping the McDuffies with her nonprofit because she didn't have a business plan. So I
Mm-hmm.
wrote that as my dissertation to graduate.
Mm.
You know, so
What I hear you saying is,
and then
God gave you a
my
plan.
school, because my school knew me, because from undergrad to grad, I didn't have to take the GMAT, nothing. They're like, you can stay on campus. We know who you are.
God
So
made
I
a
don't
way.
really tell all these stories, but I've been through a lot. But you
Yes.
can't really see me. People like, "Dang, you look young," but I look like, yeah, but I've been through a lot. But I don't tell those stories. Those are my, like you say, my lessons learned,
Mm-hmm.
and be able to build the character that I am today.
Well, we're glad that you're here to share the stories. And what we're going to do is going to move into, you got an audience that's loving you, girl. You got an audience that's backing you, that's in your corner. You kept going despite the challenges and the obstacles. See, the thing is, we all have challenges because God makes sure that we're all on the equal playing field. So therefore nobody could say I'm better than her. Nobody can say they're better than Empress, they're better than Sandra. God
Right.
makes sure we all have our share of ups and downs. He put us on an equal playing field, but it's up to each individual person to push and
Correct.
in order to make it happen. So what
Correct.
I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in your ad so the people can know what drove you to this part of the conversation.
Right. And before we drive that ad, it was that going through the pandemic, that's when I mustered up my strength, and I didn't really listen to no news. I just took the tools and resources, and that's when I gave birth to Secret Love Child, Life was Honest Diosa. Then I next made an audio book. Then I made a digital course. I just kept going, not knowing I produced all this content. And then until I reflect, everybody like, I don't know how to write a book. I don't know how to do this. It's like, I did this less than 45 days. I said, because I took my pain and did it something into my knowing and produced content. So I said, this is my message. This is what I can deliver to the world. This is my babies.
This is a strong message to tell somebody to push. And I wish somebody in this audience right now would type in the comment section. We don't know who's listening. We don't know who needs another push. We don't know what this is doing for somebody. But can you type in the comment section, push? Can you tell somebody to keep going? Come on. We have to put in affirmations because we are our brothers and sisters' keeper. All right? Pouring your pain into purpose, Amanda said. Come
Yep.
on. Somebody is clapping. Come on. Will
I
you
know. I know. Like my family members, they come to my temple. I got affirmations everywhere.
everywhere? And
On
I'm
my
going to
my
ask you,
bathroom.
Empress, I want you to share. Come on, there you go. I like it, Victoria. Push. She did it just like somebody's pushing. We are encouraging the audience today on
Push.
Awesome Radio. We are encouraging the audience on Kingdom Purpose TV. We don't know what you're going through. We can't come and give you a hug. But what we're doing is we're putting it in the comment section.
That's
Push
right.
like salt
Show
and
yourself.
pepper. I love it. Come on. Push, y'all. Push. Uh, Look at that. I
That's
love it.
right.
Come on.
That's why we're here tonight, because we're breaking generational curses, removing financial burdens, removing scarcity thinking, removing all of this stuff out of our generation. So therefore, my niece, my nephews, my great nephews, everybody have ability to create and develop and become their own heirs.
And I want you to stay tuned. Listen to this. One moment.
Studies show that most people have little and either no savings. I mean, living paycheck to paycheck, working a job they just hate, and have no idea how to fix the situation they're in. Now, you may have heard about a revolutionary new program called Bitcoins and blockchain cryptocurrency, yet probably have no clue on what it is and how it can empower you. Hi, I'm Empress Nikesha, an intuitive business advisor, and I would like to invite you to a complimentary Zoom session with me at the link you see on the screen, where I'll show you how blockchain and cryptocurrency can put a lot of money back into your pockets and allow you to build and grow a business from your home. Now, the Zoom session is completely free and you have no obligation whatsoever. Schedule your session now. It could change your life forever.
Oh my, I love that commercial. Thank you for sharing it with us. Now I'm going to give you the opportunity to tell us why we should be empowered with the tools that you know and the tools that the millionaires know about.
Excellent, excellent question. Well, I have the privilege of being around people who are rich and wealthy. And what I mean by that, Sandra, is that back in California, that's where the relationship were cultivated. I didn't know these were millionaires. you know, I'm all about relationship building. I network and I just build healthy relationships, right? And I never got into the business side. It was just learning like how they move, knowing like these are sharks, mindset. And so when I got involved in a program called My Econ, which stands for My Economy, I had the privilege of meeting the co-founder, Mr. Ivy Stokes, and I was at that time working for Performance Insurance, selling, not selling, but recruiting and training, developing life agents to sell life insurance. And we were having a discussion, and he was talking about these financial strategies. It was very foreign language to me. He's like, yeah, you got to correct your W-4. I'm like, what is that? Like IRS this. I'm like, what is that? It wasn't in my realm. Like, I wasn't educated, on the literacy of those things, on how will empower me to make money work.
Mm-hmm.
So what got deeper is that 6 years ago, I got reintroduced to My Econ by the money doctor. And when we had a conversation, he's like, Empress, you don't have an income problem, you have a cash flow problem. And
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what do you mean by that? He's like, people work these 9 to 5s, but then there's some cycles, things happen, and they don't have that money. And it's the cash flow gap. So you have to implement these strategies that the rich and wealthy use on a consistent base and move your vehicle from a 9 to 5 to owning a business. And so I grasped those ideas and concept until one of my mentors, he had transitioned and I didn't have the funds to fly out to go pay my respects. And
Mm-hmm.
they hit me at a pain point. So that's when I got into really studying how this system works. So when Empress get to studying, I just don't stop at the surface. I go way deep. So when I say I went way deep, I started studying the tax codes, and then I became a tax professional. Then I started studying, you know, um, a lot of things in the industry like real estate and inflation. I started studying, and seeing how these strategies work. And I'm like, this is how people are, saving and growing their wealth. People putting their money in a savings account and it's only earning 0.5% a year. That's like $15 a year. But they put it over here in this system, they're earning $15 a day. Or they put it over here in this vehicle and they're earning like 3,500 that somebody get paid within like 4 weeks. So I said, we got to shift this, and I got to put this in the system and empower myself and utilize it first, because I ain't going to share nothing that ain't going to work. And I
Exactly.
worked it myself. So I start documenting and record keeping all of my receipts. And then I start crying because I had all these receipts, and then I'm like, okay, now I can manage my expenses and my income and seeing where it's coming from. And then when the pandemic hit and when the eligibility of the PP loan came out, I had my records.
Mm-hmm.
You see, and I was able to apply and get approved. You see, and then and then I got the forgiveness loans too. So cool on that. However, the importance was a lot of these ideas and concepts were not planted during our childhood years, so we don't have the habit. We get a check, but everything's already deducted out of our check.
Correct.
So therefore we just spend the money. We don't think about like, oh, if I own a business now I could correct my W-4 and money is added back to my paycheck. Like, people have to understand, you get double tax. You get taxed at your 9 to 5 from the federal, state, and then when you do your taxes based on your tax income, you get taxed again. So we have to understand. I have to understand the system. We live in a world of capitalism. Okay, so every day people gonna buy something from you. So you might as well buy it for somebody that you like, know, and trust. Because when you go to the store, you're gonna buy something. When you go to the, fast food, you're gonna buy something. Somebody knock on your door, you're gonna buy something. You see something on YouTube, you're gonna buy something. So somebody gonna buy you or sell you every day. This is capitalism. So get to the understanding that this is how the system works. Like I was expressing, love ain't gonna pay the bills. We can love everybody, but at the end of the day, let's create a business. And then if you do hair and then I do nails, let's exchange and share clients, because somebody got to get their hair and nails done, right?
Correct.
So that's how the economy, that's why we call it my economy. So my motto is that in order to run a successful business operations outside of you, you got to run a successful one inside of you first. Get to know you first. What is the cash flow gap inside of you? You see what I'm saying? How are you going to fill that up? Because abundance is within and everything is externalized. So if something is blocked or stopped up, what thought pattern or what negative behavior is not allowing that flow of energy, of positivity and money to flow in? And it's very powerful. Your network equals your net worth. Who are the people you're hanging around with?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you hang around a lot of millionaires, you're going to start having $1 million thoughts. If you
Exactly.
hang around people who ain't got no job and complaining every day, 9 out of 10, you're gonna start complaining and start, all this. So you got to raise up your frequency and vibration and vibrate with people who are like-minded, who are conscious and aware. So you got to understand your system. Some people say, "Hey, Sandra, I want to be a millionaire." Okay, when they come to Empress, "Hey, I want to be a millionaire." You're gonna get taxed 37%. So you might as well create a budget and then learn how the system works so it can work for you and not work against you. At the end of the year, you're crying like where your money went. I'm just saying, so if you start off with low numbers, it's all a numbers game. So just understand how the codes work. Don't be afraid of the IRS. Go to the IRS like I did. And it said, oh, to be tax responsible. So guess what? I'm going to start a business so I can get all the tax advantages. And I'm going to learn how to invest. So that's how I got into blockchain crypto, because nobody told me about my credit score, that when I got as an adult that I wanted to get a car or get my house, that, oh, my credit score. Nobody taught me that. No debt income ratio. Or somebody say in order to get a business loan, you got to have 10K cash flow in each month. Depending on your situation and your type of your skill set, somebody ain't got that. Unless somebody gonna gift that to you, or give you a grant to have that type of cash flow. So this is where in June of last year, in 2020, what is it, 2021, when one of my mentors, Glenn Sovic, shared an idea and concept about blockchain and crypto. I knew about it back in 2007, but then people laughed at me as I kept talking about it, and I was talking about how the world is shifting and people going on podcast, like everybody was laughing, but I kept focused. But when he introduced the idea and concept, he said, "Empress, I can share how to put money back into your pocket to pay the bills. I'm gonna give you this proven system. You just put this amount of money. I'm like, oh Glenn, I ain't got $300, man. Yeah, I gotta pay the bills. He said, just save it, just save little at a time, and when you get the opportunity, put it on this platform. So I put it on the platform, and I started earning 0.5% a day. I was like, $1.50 a day. Oh yeah, that's what's up. And he said, yeah, and you can buy some more, and then next thing you know, you can withdraw and pay the bills. Once I started seeing that and it worked, I said, let me go for this 6 to 9 months before I start sharing the message. Cause I ain't, I'm the type of person, if it's, ain't working, I ain't gonna, it start working. Then my other mentor came and said, Empress, I got a similar system and it's in Bitcoin because I see your financial situation. Put a little bit over here. Hey man, I ain't got, and I said, well, if you get in my program over here, then I can, send you some HU over here to pay for that. He like, bet. So then I sent him some HU over here on my platform, and then we got signed up, and then the system working, and I start seeing, I'm like, we can become our own bankers.
Right. And now you, because you went through that, can make us aware that there is
Yes,
something out here for us that we can tap in today, and we can reap the benefits in a few weeks, months, or a year,
right.
depending on what your expectations are.
Yes.
Empress, give me a minute, all right? I need to do a personal commercial. The Life of Zionist Diosa, all right? It is an intuitive e-read. Go now and purchase Life of Zionist Diosa today. Be sure to write in. She's giving you a 50% off, and there is a code for you on the screen right now. And for the first 3 people who will go and purchase this beautiful book, you all, it is an ebook, but it is, when I say beautiful, it is beautiful to the eye, and it's full of wisdom, and it takes a mind, an intuitive mind, to comprehend each and every word that is saying. Is full of life, it's full of experience, it's full of wisdom, it's full of knowledge, and it is a book that you must have in your archives. If you are purchasing, I need you now to put it in the comment section that you are purchasing. I will gift to
Right.
you this book right here, My Hidden Strength. It is an anthology compilation of 5 to 6 authors, and they're sharing with you their story. My story is in here as well. I am telling each and every person, do not ignore the signs. You need this book, all right? So when you go and purchase Empress's book, and it's on the screen of how to do that, I need you to show me that you have purchased it. It's giving 50% off, all right? This book, she read a little bit in the beginning, but this book is detailed with nothing but wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. All right. I was telling Empress yesterday, I said, I've never met a mind so keen and so vast with knowledge. All right. Empress, you're getting to meet her now. I'm a complimenter. I believe in complimenting people. All right. I'm not ashamed to compliment anybody because I'm not threatened. I know who I am. It tickles me pink when people won't compliment someone because they're not comfortable in their own skin.
Yes.
But we want to compliment as much as we can. And I was complimenting Empress yesterday, telling her that I've never seen a young person with such a brain on their shoulders. Yes, she's gone through a lot, but guess what? She took that energy and she built a business for herself and for you. All right. And so we're here today because this is a book signing. All right.
Yes.
Look at, how do you pronounce her
That's my
name?
niece. Yeah, Kiana. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Let me read it. Kiana says, you need my auntie's book. Better get it while it's half off. Knowledge is power, pain is motivation. Get that. Look, because she hasn't offered it for 50% off. She did this because she's on my show. She's doing you a favor. And so come on. I want somebody to go now and
I'm over here laughing. The promo code is shiftologist $50. So it's shiftologist $50. That we can put that in there for everyone so they
because
can have
why?
access. Yeah,
Because
if you go to the landing page, you'll actually see it in the landing page where it says promo code, and you just apply the promo code to get the discount. Yes, indeed. And like another no word, I don't do favors, I do great deeds.
exactly, and you said something, and I hope I could tweak your thought. But you said something to me
Make
yesterday.
sure it's $50. Yeah, shiftologist and then the $50.
All
Make
right,
sure.
shiftologist, put a dollar sign and then 50, and it's all capital letters, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so let's do this because I believe in doing things correct. We're going to put it on the screen. We don't want you to make a mistake. Come
Correct.
on, put it in the. You can afford this book. You can't afford not to get purchase this book
Yeah.
because it's going to strengthen um, your mindset. It's going to
Right.
take you from where you are now to where God wants you to be. It's going to give you a certain awareness that you do not have right now. I was reading it and flipping through. It's an ebook, and I was flipping through yesterday and last week, and every time I go inside, I see something else, and I said, "Empress," I said, "This is not an easy read. This is." You have to ask questions after you read. I said, I have a lot of questions after I read page one, yeah, but who's purchasing it? You can afford it, but you can't afford to not read it. That's right. That's right. All right. All right, Victoria, you're on your job, girl. Thank you so much. Discount code. She put it there. National bestseller, The Life of Zionist. Even the title. If you look at the title, you want my inquiring minds want to know, why did she name it that? Where did that title come from? What does it mean? Aren't you the same way as me? Look at that.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's very interesting because being in, like you say, the word, if you heard about Mount Zion, right?
Yes.
So I said, make it the feminine essence, Zionosis. So Zionosis and Diosa means goddess. So the life of Zionist Diosis. And basically, it's awakening all of our inner childs because we're all divine beings, you see? And so by doing that and being able to relate to one another in a whole thought form. See, in the ebook, I put all of the impressions of masculine characters who did not take advantage of me, but empowered me and melded into an avatar of Zionist Diosa's father, because this is what I wish I would have had in a father.
Mm.
See, a lot of times you may have these books where, they're talking, downplaying all this kind of stuff, or you may have these books, it's about single moms. And I said, let me put it in this father where a man come in to his daughter life. All she want is her hair braided correctly. That's all she know, but but she don't know that he's a millionaire. She don't know that he done built communities and funded this and funded his Aunt Teresa store, but teaching his Aunt Teresa, who's a woman, to empower her not to just give away everything, because for some reason in our society, women are, just nurturers and givers. But then when it comes to business, this competition and all this kind of stuff and blah, it's like he come in and get her on a dome and say, continue to do this because you're showing your niece, your great niece, what it's like to be a business owner, because she sees that. You see?
Yes, indeed. We're almost out of time. I
Oh,
want to
sure.
read a scripture, St. John chapter 10. This is an eschatological reading of John's gospel. Very short, but very powerful. And I don't want you to forget it. Go ahead and make that purchase. Let me know when you made the purchase. All right. It reads, I came that they may have light and have it abundantly.
Correct.
John was a powerful author himself, but the best author that we would ever know was Jesus Christ. And so I would just like to say to you, I pray that this program has helped you and has blessed you. Empress has shared her story with you, and shared her pain with you. You know, all of us have pain bodies. You will be able to rewatch watch this program and make your purchase. And that's why I put it on so many times. That's why I showed you the cover of this hard work that she put into this just for you. She didn't write this for herself per se, but she wrote it for you, that you will have an opportunity to have the chains unlocked and broken, to be set free from the bondages of life's experiences. No, we didn't come into this world thinking that we were going to have pain bodies and that we were going to suffer and that we were going to cry at night. No, we didn't do that. But God gave us an assignment, and Empress answered the call tonight by showing up. And it's like a piece to the puzzle. We are the major components to the puzzle. All the puzzle is waiting on right now is you. Go now and make your purchase. What we're going to do, and somebody said, nice job. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sis.
Compliment. This is the month of
Yeah.
compliment. All
And
right.
be sure, right, and be sure to go to Empress free session /30 minutes so I can empower you about the blockchain and cryptocurrency. And of course, it's going to help you facilitate with the ebook with the Life of Zionist Diosa, because it's time. It's time to have monies to start working for us, because it's an energy tool. So once you empower someone like yourself, then you're going to be successful in sharing your success stories with others. That's all I'm here, is to advise and bring the light and show you how it works.
We also have a tool for you, elevation travel.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. I fell in love with it. And I called Empress. I was like, I want my money back. I was
Right.
like, I don't think I'm gonna need this app. You know what? And I went to Cancun and I wanted to go on a boat ride. And guess what? The prices were astronomical, you all. If you're interested in this app, I want you to put it in the comment section. It's like 200 and couple dollars for a whole year. You need this if you plan to travel, because on the app it tells you how to get a resort for a lower price. So this app is actually feasible, so you don't have to pay full price for anything. And so my boat ride that I found, guess what? It was $382 for 3 hours. But guess what? My son went on this very app that I'm telling you, Elevation Travel, and I'll be able to hook you up with it, if you want it. But guess what? He found it for both of us for $140 something, you all. You can't beat this app, all right? And then you can sell it to other people once you
Yeah.
get involved. We have a plethora of knowledge for you, how to have multiple streams of income.
Right. So, like you say, if you want over millions and thousands of years, hundreds of years of strategies, well, contact Empress. It's all in here. I did the homework for you, ladies and gentlemen. And so, like I said, it's time for me to reap the return of my investment and spend more time with my family, those that I love and care about, to empower you and being on wonderful shows like Sandra.
May God bless you. May heaven smile upon you, is my prayer. Now, you know what I'm going to say. I am ecstatic to be alive. And I pray to God that you are as well. It's been real. Have a good night. God bless you.
Bye.
Bye bye.